This tutorial is intended for the members of the trustees of the Constitutional Center in Philadelphia. I am working with efforts with the Biden administration along with both Republicans and Democrats in the Senate and in the House of Representatives of Washington, D.C. to phase in forensic voting. Forensic voting would allow the government to allow citizens to vote with forensic technologies that will protect the integrities of free and fair elections throughout the Union of America. The technology will be the only thing that can prevent a potential rebellion for 2024 by Trump supporters undermining free and fair elections, by Trump deceiving the American public and undermining the presidential elections. This technology that I am bringing to the forefront is intended to safeguard the integrities of our democracy and to not allow any politician to ever try to sow deceit with falsehoods when it comes to subverting the popular will of the American people when we cast our ballots. So, in brief, the technology will work this way. People will be able to vote for their candidates by registering to vote. They will register in a government website. The website will be able to scan their forensic uh, details, their index fingers, their face recognition, voice recognition. Once they are registered, they can cast their vote using their cell phones, or they can vote in person in a voting designated location for elections that are overseen by the government. The voting machines will be able to scan their index fingers, scan their face, and voice recognition. And so they will be able to vote in person or using their cell phones. The forensic scanning will be encrypted, so no foreign actor, nation actor will be able to undermine the system. So it's encrypted, so no potential would-be hacker can have access to the registry and the technology as it exists. So the way I'm engineering it is for no potential would-be nation actor can interfere with the technology, or no would-be lone computer hacker will be able to hack into these systems. So I am patenting this technology. But my concern is that I want to phase in this forensic technology in time for 2024, because I don't want this nation to fall prey to Trump's big lie, and for the American people that follow Trump to be tempted into repeating what happened in January 6th in the Capitol building. To me, Trump is stroking a potential rebellion and an uprising by his supporters that can lead this country into a civil war. So, to prevent chaos from unraveling, I want the Constitutional Center, along with the Supreme Court justices and all the governors of the Union of the United States of America, along with all the serving senators and Congress representatives in D.C., to have a summit in the Philadelphia Constitutional Center and to vote in passing this technology into law, because this would impede Trump from having a second chance to destabilize our country the way he did in 2024. Excuse me. I apologize for the background. I have a dog, and I apologize. But at the end of the day, Trump cannot be afforded another opportunity to conjure up lies and to try to deceive the American public into not accepting free and fair democracies when the American people cast their votes. What Trump did for January 6th, Kamala Harris in that particular day almost got blown up with 2 pipe bombs. Mike Pence almost got hanged. 3 or 4 Capitol police officers lost their lives. So for me to stand the injustice of the Republican Party that supports Trump is oppressive. And I refuse to live in a government that democracy is not adhered to, and the tyrant leaders can run amok and violate the Constitution. Trump did a campaign commercial recently, and excuse my language, but the message for that campaign commercials that he made, it said, "If you fuck with me, I'm gonna do things to you that y'all never thought possible." He's referring to the constitutional scholars. As far as his trial with January 6th, he came out and said, threatening the attorney generals and the Justice Department, "If y'all fuck with me, I will do things that y'all never thought possible." Trump not only wants to subvert the media, he wants to subvert the judicial system in this country. He wants to violate the Constitution of this country, which he accused Mike Pence of being too honest. And that's why he lost the college electorate system. Trump said to Mike Pence. So I'm working with Biden and both Republicans and Democrats in the Senate and of the House. And I want to conduct a civil rights summit on this issue to protect the integrities. You gotta understand, in 2016, Hillary Clinton had 3 million more votes than Trump. But for the love of fossil fuels, the delegates gerrymandered and disenfranchised 3 million American citizens and gave the victory to Trump. They were trying to repeat the same thing in 2020. But this time around, Biden ended up having 7 more million votes than Trump. And Trump was trying to cancel the college electorate system and anoint hand-chosen fake delegates to impose his will on the masses of people. And he went to the swing states where heavily populated minorities live in, especially in Philadelphia. He didn't go nowhere in Pennsylvania but Philadelphia, because Philadelphia is heavily populated by Africans and Latinos. The same way to Georgia, when they were trying to support the auditing in Georgia and in Philadelphia, they targeted minority districts. And so for this reason, I came up with the idea for forensic voting. And forensic voting, the way the forensic trail will match the paper trail. So when people vote, they will get a receipt printed out. It will have a confirmation number. It will have the date and time and candidates they voted for. So if they vote using a voting machine or using a cell phone, they will get a paper receipt emailed to them and also physically mailed to them. And so if there's ever an audit, the forensic digital trail will match the paper trail. And so it's impossible for a person to fake a vote. It will be impossible for a person to fake a vote. These these signal technology encryptions will be embedded with qubits, and the qubit systems would prevent anybody from hacking into the government database. And so forensic voting is the only way that people like Trump and Carrie Lake was trying to follow the big lie because she was trying to become a governor of a swing state to appoint Trump for 2024. So she still haven't conceded her race, as well as Trump hasn't conceded defeat when they lost fair and square. So for Trump to say, if y'all keep on fucking with me, I would do things that y'all never thought possible. He came out with that. He actually posted that in regards to the Justice Department and the judiciary system of this country. And so not only did he do that, but he done said that his January ellipse speech, in the ellipse of the day of January 6th, he said that his speech was better than Martin Luther King speech, the I Had a Dream speech. Somehow he thinks that his January ellipse speech is better than Martin Luther King. And then he said he had bigger crowds in January 6th than Martin Luther King had in his I Had a Dream speech. How dare he compare a day of terrorism, that they almost blew up Kamala Harris with 2 pipe bombs. They almost hanged Mike Pence. They killed 3 to 4 Capitol Police officers. And he's going to desecrate the legacy of Martin Luther King? That's the same insensitivity that he had for the sports players that, out of chivalry for the national anthem, kneeled and prayed to God for awareness to civil rights. Because if you remember correctly, Charlottesville Nazis were marching around General Lee statue. And that was before the George Floyd riots. It was 2 years before. And Trump kept on bragging about General Lee and how General Lee knew how to fight wars. And at the same speech in his rallies, Trump said, these people are disrespecting the flag. They don't love our country. They're not like you. They're not like you. And he's pointing out to a crowd of white masses of Trump supporters. But he for 2 years denigrated civil rights for African Americans. And that's what boiled over into the riots. Because Trump wants to subvert minorities in this nation, wants to antagonize minorities in this nation, and wants to deny the freedoms of minorities when we vote to be counted. So for that reason, I came up with the forensic voting technology. I'm working with the Biden administration. I was working with the Speaker, representatives of the House of both sides of the aisle, and I want the Constitutional Center to have a summit that all the governors of America and all the representatives of Washington, D.C., senators and Congress representatives, along with all the living presidents and the Supreme Court justices of America, to have a summit on this issue of forensic voting. Because we have to nip this Trump lies in the butt. We have to bring it to a halt. We have to save this country before it breaks and erupts in a civil war because of Trump's shenanigans. So forensic voting is on the agenda for 2024. Is on the agenda for 2024. And I want to have a constitutional summit on this issue in Philadelphia as far as forensic voting. I want all the governors of America to attend. I want the senators and Congress representatives of D.C. to attend. I want all the Supreme Court justices to attend. And I want this to be passed into law. Because Trump and people like him will never be able to undermine the will of the people. He can't come up with his QAnon conspiracies on how the elections were stolen off of him. So I'm addressing this email directly to the trustees of the Constitutional Center. And I'm working with the White House and with representatives, leaders of the Senate and of the Congress, both sides of the aisles, to phase this into law. So I can be reached, but and contacted. I will add that my contact information along with this video to the Constitutional Center in Philadelphia. And I also live in Philadelphia, by the way, born and raised. So to me, I am defending the will of the people, defending the democracy of the republic. Without no democracy, a republic cannot exist. Without no democracy, a republic cannot stand. And that's why I'm so opposed of a tyrant leader to say, if you keep on fucking with me, I will do things that you never thought possible. To me, that's the straw that broke the camel's back, and that's why I'm initiating this constitutional summit in Philadelphia.